You Ridge, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, what can I do for you today?
We are under a lot of pressure regarding our operation in Kyrgyzstan. I need to make a very convincing statement.
Yes, that is quite a conundrum. Well, why are we in this situation in the first place? Maybe there is something there we can use.
Well, it started as a diversion from our country's disastrous economic situation. Then it turns out we are in desperate need of their precious, rare metals. And, last but not least, they embarrassed me in the United Nations, in front of the whole world.
Oh yes, the chocolate cake incident. Perhaps it would be wise to stay away from those topics altogether.
Agreed.
The truth will in fact, very rarely, set you free.
You are as wise as a serpent.
What about what you have communicated earlier? That we were being attacked by them.
Yes, it is a very nice description of the events. The only problem is that its truth content is under some questioning.
But that usually never bothers you.
Normally, no. But there was an investigation by this really pedantic organization, the Center for War Crimes.
That does not sound too serious.
There are some considerable deviations between our suggestion and the findings of their investigation of how the enemy troops moved before we attacked.
How considerable are we talking?
Well, their troops seem to have not been very active at the time.
That is not so bad.
They also seem to have moved away from our border, in contrast to what we have maintained.
Ah, I see.
The International Court of Justice might not take the result of this investigation lightly.
Well, it's just a matter of your word against theirs.
Apparently, they have a large amount of satellite pictures to back up their claim.
I am sure you can come across some satellite photos of your own.
Yes, of course. We have a very creative technical department. Members of the press, today is a proud day for our nation. We have fended off a great threat to our country and struck back at the enemy before they could make a move. Yes, Miss Kozlova.
Mr. President, how could you strike back at the enemy if they had not yet made a move?
Do not twist my words, miss. We are well within our rights. They were the ones who tickled the bear. The West is, as usual, trying to make us look like the bad guy, the aggressor, while we have secured evidence of the contrary.
And what is this evidence?
There are satellite photos of the Kyrgyzstani troops approaching our border.
Some sources suggest that you have simply reversed the order of the satellite footage and edited the timestamps.
Lies, and even more lies. There are forces that want our nation to fail.
Don't you fear international repercussions and the international courts?
A clear conscience is the best way to a good night's sleep, my dear.
And what about sanctions?
There is no need to worry. We are not reliant on inferior nations to keep going. Our country is very well prepared. There is plenty of supplies and munitions.
Well done, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dmitri, but it was no hassle. These people are just so gullible. You know, when I first ran for office, they believed I would actually put an end to corruption.
Excuse me, sir, the microphone on your jacket still seems to be on. How are you, Mr. President? You look very pale, sir.
That went well, I think.
Yes, right up until the end.
The people know I have a good sense of humor. They can take a joke.
Let us hope so, sir.
Most of them do not follow these things to the end, anyway.
Going forward, let us not count on that, shall we?
Okay, moving on. Living in the past never built any empires.
Very insightful words, Mr. President.
How long before we can wrap up this operation? We are starting to look weak.
The people of Kyrgyzstan have come together behind President Chernovsky. He is extremely popular. A very high percentage of their population is volunteering to join the army.
Well then, it sounds like it is time to activate the old propaganda machine again.
What do you have in mind, sir?
There is nothing like a good old smear campaign. You know what they say. If you cannot beat them, cheat them.
That's what they say.
If it was revealed that President Chernovsky has considerable untaxed incomes hidden in our banks, his popularity might suddenly decrease.
That would be incredibly lucky, Mr. President. But how?
Let us just say there are advantages to controlling an international media conglomerate.